Mik'd Up. We have not had a commercial in a long time. Like we're rusty with the commercials. We go straight 2 hours on this thing.
Nothing rusty about that commercial.
Nothing rusty. It was
played
great.
Played it on purpose. Had our guy Kenneth Balala come in town and went to Doge.
Oh yeah,
what
did he say? Did he say anything about it?
Went and got the burger. Said it's the best thing he's ever had. Got another one for the hotel room.
We are not lying
he
about the
double
best
dipped on
burger.
the burger. We're
going to talk to our guys here about burgers. I don't know if they've had them yet, but it is the best burger in Baton Rouge. And we're not just saying it because they sponsor the show. We are saying it because we have, it's fact, one, and two, we have a testimonial talking about how good the burger is.
It's a bold statement, Coach.
Best
burger in Baton Rouge.
Well, this is from the G Team attorney right here, Gordon McKernan Injury attorney at law.
I'm not betting on Doze. I'm just saying that's a very,
Sounds
very
like he's
high.
never had one.
You never had one? Have you
I've
had
never
one?
had one.
Okay.
I've never had one.
Yeah.
Don't speak on something you never had, Ramsey. Okay.
Good
Okay. With that, great intro. We are here with another edition, another week of
Holding hands is
the
great.
G Team. We have
go
our
farther.
friend. What's that? Yeah. We have our friend Ramsey Barfield on the show representing Gordon Injury Attorneys, but we also have our friend El Capitan of the baseball team, Alex Milazzo, newest member of the G Team. He was on last week. We get him on 2 weeks in a row. I think he was on last week. Were you on last week?
Yeah, you can't keep me away.
Can't keep. Listen, I don't want. I told you last year you can come on the show anytime you want because you're great. Obviously, Gordon loves you and gave you an opportunity. How did that deal come about? How did this situation come about? And give us the details on kind of what y'all talked about.
Yeah, I think it was at the first bitch banquet. Kind of met Gordon there, and then Ramsey came up and talked to me, and then
Ramsey talks. That's crazy.
Was Lloyd at that banquet?
Oh
He
yeah,
was.
don't ask.
He
yeah,
was.
don't
Lloyd
ask
was
your
actually
buddies
dressed
at
the
LSU
nicest
Gold.
you've ever seen Lloyd dressed, no doubt. No doubt.
Nobody else did.
Well, Lloyd was actually going to go in what he's wearing now. He didn't realize it was a nice
Gala.
thing. He was going to. He was. I'm going to go in a hoodie. I was
he
like,
looked,
no,
he
you
looked
can't
good
do
that night.
Yeah, he did look good.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice
Yeah,
maroon.
You're the only one that saw.
It was great.
yeah, but Gordon came, talked to Gordon, introduced ourselves, and then Ramsey came up and said he'd be in contact. And we instantly started talking about duck hunting. I guess Gordon and Ramsey go duck hunting all the time, and they found out I'm a big duck hunter, and we started sharing pictures, whatever, man. And then me and Gordon sat down the other night for like an hour and just chopped it up for an hour. And, man, just talking about everything he does with the Baton Rouge community. Obviously with LSU athletes, he loves LSU, which I think that's awesome, man. That fits right into me, hunting, fishing, and LSU.
Right.
That's what I'm all about. So, I mean, not only just that, talking about the type of guy Gordon is. I mean, he's talking to me about 20 years down the road, helping set up businesses for whether it's me, my fiance, whatever, man. Talking about my family, just anything he could do, which I think that just speaks to how he is and who he is, man. So
Absolutely.
It couldn't have worked out better.
Absolutely, man. He's been great to us. We've enjoyed having his partnership with our show, and it's continuing to grow. He's putting Ramsey in a situation where he's going to try to embarrass Ramsey at some point.
Yeah.
This year, I think we're in the works of getting a custom uni for you, aren't we?
Man, I think we have some things in the works, but look, like you said, I've been fortunate to do a lot of hunting with Gordon. I'm worried that my spot might be in jeopardy here.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You got no. If he goes out there, you got no shot.
Ball game.
You got no
It's
shot.
done.
Listen, he's going to call him in. He's going to get him to circle back. You got no shot.
Yeah.
You probably don't even call. You probably take your iPhone out and play it for the ducks to hear or something.
If that was legal, right?
If that's
It's not legal.
Right,
You can't
it's not
do that.
legal.
Yeah, Gordon might be in trouble, though. When I
Pass
go
him the
hunting,
microphone.
At times we'll rough it, man. At times when I go hunting, I'm roughing
Oh,
it.
look, you know who's
I don't
not
know.
roughing it?
Yeah.
Hey, I would
You can come home with me. We hunt out of the boat, so
Yeah.
we're good.
I would love for you to take Gordon on a roughing trip.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
go hit up some public land in Arkansas or Oklahoma, man, and sleeping in the truck, getting about 2 hours of sleep. But hey, if I'm rolling with Gordon, let's go.
Let's go. Listen,
Let's
if you're
go.
rolling with Gordon, I think that y'all are going to have a different
Experience.
experience, which is great. To each their own, right? You grew up duck hunting. Obviously, you're used to that. And like I said, Gordon's done a lot for the community. He continues to do a lot for the community. He's big in the NIL space. But I think more so, my biggest thing And my take from him is not only is he just giving back to NIL because he wants to help LSU, he's giving to NIL, but he's also helping the players and the athletes that he brings into his deals understand business and grow them outside of just, hey, this is what you're going to get for the year, 2 years that you're with us. And the fact that you said that, I think, is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing for me, man, was just how much he talked about it, how much he cared about Baton Rouge and this community, which that's who I am. That's what I care about is LSU and this community. And we instantly talked about charities and giving back. And, I mean, not only that, just for him to – I feel like most NIL people would be talking about, you know, how they can grow their business and what's happening this year right now. And he's talking about 20 years down the road when I'm potentially, you know, probably not even playing baseball, coaching, whatever, you know, and he's talking about going into business together, what we can do, helping me grow, which I thought that was awesome.
Alex, this place obviously more than a lot of places throughout the fall, even in the spring before the season even starts, you're probably going to get a few more people in the stands watching these fall scrimmages, watching these fall World Series games, watching the scrimmages in the spring. But how different does it feel, and how refreshing was it to get out there for no more dress rehearsals for the actual real thing again?
Yeah, I definitely me and Hayden were talking about that. We're like, dang, man, this is our last first day.
That's it.
And it kind of set up. This is like the last first game we're ever gonna play at LSU, and we're like, man, you got butterflies? I was like, yeah, I got some butterflies. Like normally you get like 30 games into it, and you kind of lose that. You just settle in and you're playing every day. But it was pretty cool to have butterflies. Not only that, but just those pregame nerves, and then having a packed house at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, how many places are doing that on a Thursday or Friday
in February?
In February.
Yeah.
Like, people are still getting over football, into basketball, and here we are at LSU at 10,000 strong at 2 p.m. on Friday. I want to know how many people didn't go to work.
Oh, you're sitting right next to one.
He didn't go to work. Look at him. He didn't go to work. We were there.
I think Ramsey was working all day. It just was not in the office.
But, hey, seriously, I was in the standing room only section, for a minute, packed.
Oh, just for a minute?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, for a minute, because I went up to try to find him, and then he was gone.
I thought it was really cool too for the guys that was their first, college game or first game day experience, to be able to experience a crowd like that, and people are into it, and it gets loud, and I mean, it's going to be different from a packed house in the fall to a packed house in that first game. Like, your body's going to react totally different to things. You're going to feel totally different. So I think that was really good for them to get their feet wet and kind of get settled in.
Let me ask you this from a player standpoint, because you'll start the season with a 4-game series against 2 teams, right? Which is not the 2-team thing's not super unique, but the 4 games playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, super unique. And then you follow that up with another 4-game series against 2 teams on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which kind of a weird situation, because you don't have that midweek game in between. You only have 2 days off, and then you start this other 4-game series. Like, is that kind of – because that's probably something that you probably hadn't really gone through yet. I mean, I never went through it when I was in college. How are the players handling that? Do they like it? Do y'all – it's like whatever, one of those types of things?
I love it. We're playing a lot of baseball. I was eager to get out there,
Yeah.
man. So we're playing a lot of games, and I think with the depth of this team, I don't think we rolled out the same lineup one game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, each game there was a different lineup, which that speaks to the depth of this team. And I think playing as many games as you can like this early on, and getting guys out there and putting them in the big situations in the lineup early on, that's just better for us.
No doubt.
At the end of the day, and then you get the opportunity to roll as many arms out there as possible.
Yeah.
That's just more experience, more innings guys are getting. So I don't see how it would be a bad thing.
Which we're going to get to the arms, because there's a lot that came out of nowhere that I hadn't heard about, and I want to talk about them.
Yeah.
But Jay, you got a question?
Yeah, dude. So the catching position group you guys have. Now, it'd be one thing if we sit in here and we talk about, hey, one of these guys can hit, the other one can do this, the other one can do that. It's a strong group that is very talented, that can really play the position. How cool is it having 3+ guys in that room or in that position where you're like, hey, I think we have the ability to keep us fresh back here, all while we all get ample playing time and are able to help this team out. And we're not really losing from the game with either one of us back there. How cool is that?
I'm going to answer that one, but you know what's even cooler? Like, we're talking about this catching position, but look in the outfield. How many guys we rolled out in the outfield that did the same thing? How many guys did it how many guys did it in the infield, man? Right. That's a hat tip to not only our coaching staff, but the players in that locker room and what they were able to do from fall to break to early spring. And I think coaches said it a lot, the improvements that were made over that from the fall to the spring to season. Like, some of us players are blown away by the improvements some guys made. But, yeah, back to the catching position, it's like, who else has that? I've never seen it before. I've never been a part of a team that has 3 catchers. It's normally like, yeah, that guy can do that, that guy can do that. And I think all of us, all 3 catchers had multiple hits. We all had multiple RBIs.
Threw guys out. Everybody threw a guy out.
Yeah, everybody threw a guy out this weekend. And, I mean, we got an incredible coach with Josh Jordan, and I mean, we're together every day, all 3 of us, so we all have a tight relationship, tight bond, and I mean, we get after it. But it's not only that; it's not just JJ coaching us every day in the cages. It's like, hey, when guys bouncing, feedback off this guy, I'm bouncing feedback off Brady or Hayden, and we're all kind of feeding into that. Where it's like, hey man, why don't you try this? Like, it's a unit back there, and we take a lot of pride in not only the defensive side of things, but offensive side of things. Same thing when we're hitting. Like, we're all helping each other. At the end of the day, we all want to win.
But, hey, that ain't the most, common thing with nowadays with NIL. It ain't very often you got 3 people of that caliber in the same position that are staying.
Yeah, Mr. NIL have dropping bombs. That's facts, though. It's no doubt.
That's a testimony to the fact that, y'all are boys.
Yeah.
Especially when really only one of y'all can be in the game at a time.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you got
you
DH,
saw it
in the game, though.
I think I caught Thatch Friday. I caught him for I was catching for 7 innings. Brady came in the back half, caught. Hayden started the next day. I think I caught the back half of that, and then I caught in every game, whether it was starting or back half, but it doesn't matter, man. Right. It's like you can literally match up guys, you can plug and play guys, and it's like a Swiss Army knife, and the versatility of that is, I mean, good for the Tigers,
And I think the crazy thing about that is, right, we talk about the depth and how good y'all are and getting out there and everybody getting their opportunity. But as a catcher, your role is not only, hey, I got to be behind the plate, I got to be able to control the staff, right? And I got to have that chemistry with the staff. All 3 of y'all were able to go out there and do that, whether you started, whether y'all came in the back half. You're able to control the pitching staff. You're able to keep them in a situation where they were successful. And, you had these young guys come out that had never thrown before, right? And you know it. You've been a freshman at LSU. Coming into LSU and having to play your opening weekend, you could be there for 4 years and you still get jittery, right? And so you get a guy like Fidel Ulloa, I said it right again 2 times today, come out there and throw. Jesus, here we go. See?
Hey, it's not me. That was on the magic moment.
I know. But he comes in on Saturday, right? A game that's 2-0, comes in, throws really well. And then Jay puts him out again on Monday in a more stressful situation where he has to basically clamp this thing down. How special was his outing this weekend, and how special was the depth of the pitching staff?
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Fidel, other than his ability to throw 96 or whatever with a hammer slider, is the caliber of person he is.
And you could tell that by the way y'all reacted to him, by the way.
He is one of the best dudes you'll ever meet. Just like, he's almost like, I'm looking at Bob Marley up there. He's got that kind of vibe to him where he's like, dude, he is just happy every day. You could catch him on a Monday, a Saturday. It doesn't matter. He's the same person every day, just happy. And that's the kind of guys we got in the locker room, and that's something that makes him so special is the person he is on and off the field. But he throws 97 too, or
that's fun, huh?
He's electric. And I think we saw it early on in the spring where we were facing him, and guys were coming back to the dugout like, oh crap,
Who's this guy?
this is different. Like fastball's playing at the top of the zone, then you put it at the bottom, and you're like, oh, that's a ball, and just.
And he feels it up. He has a feel for the strike zone too.
Oh yeah, he's filling it up.
Yeah.
Like you'll see him at the top of the zone, but his fastball's going to play at the bottom of the zone. Like most guys with velo like that, like you try to see him down, but there's times when I'm even catching him, and it's like, oh, that's going to end up in there, and it's like, chapow. Like
perfect
just
frame.
exploding through the zone. And
sometimes that's harder to hit than the elevator heater.
Yeah,
I think it's not gonna stay up, and it just stays up.
I was fired up to see him come in and have that success. He works his butt off, and he makes the guys around him better too. But yeah, I mean, you could see the team how fired up everybody was for him to.
That's what we talked about on Monday. I was like, or on Wednesday, or today's Wednesday.
It was Monday.
On Monday, we talked about.
I should be the one getting confused.
Yeah, we talked about this on Monday. Like, man, you saw the reaction of the players, and this guy's just got to LSU, right? So, like, you see the reaction, and to me, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, the coolest part about that was he came out in his first outing, he strikes the guy out, and it's no, like, most guys get something big on, like, my first start at LSU, I hit a double. I'm going crazy at second base. I have to rip my jersey off. He strikes a guy out, and he just hops off the mound and cruises right in that dugout like it's an everyday thing.
I love that.
So the cool part about you having so much experience here is you've seen so many starts and so many guys come through that locker room, right? For you, what about this first weekend did you either learn or was confirmed with this group of guys?
Ramsey, you want to take this one? No, man.
Trust me, Ramsey was locked in on every pitch.
You had to wait till Saturday for Ramsey.
Yeah. I think with this group, man, it was so cool to see. I don't even throughout my years here, just as a team, how focused everybody was, like whether it was 2 weeks from the season opener, 1 week from the season opener, everybody was just so focused on each day. Like I haven't seen it before with a team where a collective group like that. A lot of times you'll have guys like slacking off or whatever, but as a whole team, like everybody was so focused. So I think you saw that, and then taking pride in, like Coach says, we want to be the best at winning those one-run ball games.
Playing soccer.
Yeah. We had some tight ball games, and I didn't see any panic out of anybody. That was the coolest thing for me was, like, no panic, whether we're down, whether it's one run. Doesn't matter when you're coming in. Like, there was no panic, just steady heartbeat and doing our deal. Yeah. That was probably the coolest thing for me. There was no flinch in there.
Lloyd, you got one? Ramsey, we're not neglecting you, but, he's the prize attraction.
My guy over here is a little bit more important right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey. Doing a good job.
Yeah. You looking good.
Ramsey's been a really good poster over there for us.
I'm really just here to be a living billboard right now. That's all. That's really all.
8-8. Yeah. I can't do it all in a row. I got to break up the 8s. Yeah. What you got?
This one is for Milazzo, unfortunately. Sorry, Ramsey. No, yeah. But yeah, Gordon you might be a prototype for an actual. He's done everything in the stationary billboard game. You might.
Look, Jerry Jones. You can have a Jerry Jones. AI. The AI deal.
You go and ask him a question.
A Gordon or a Ramsey. You can have a. There you go.
There you go. But Milazzo, you talked a little bit about what I was going to hit on earlier, where you have three catchers, all of which it feels like could. When you have the transfer portal, all could have played somewhere, and then instead it goes the opposite way where y'all are all working together, making each other better instead of trying to compete almost. We're like, I'm not going to tell him that because if he knows that, he might get a start over me one day. It's the exact opposite. And I feel like you heard a lot of that last year. What's the difference between kind of learning from last year and the mentality going into this year, whatever it becomes? You said steady heartbeat and winning a different way, but would that start in the offseason, or has it just been, all right, let's see what it looks like when we line it up the first pitch?
I think the last time I was on – I think last time me and Hayden were sitting here on the podcast, we kind of talked about, I think, leaving that legacy and, how we want this program to be left. And I think it was the same thing when Jared and Mikie left. For us, man, first of all, I want to see LSU baseball on top of college baseball for as long as possible, even when I'm long gone from this program. But secondly, I think the selflessness that our coaching staff preaches, the players preach, pulling for the guy next year, pulling for the guy that's in front of you, or whether I'm starting or whether they're starting, it doesn't matter, man. It's like I can hear Brady, Hayden, or vice versa, all pulling for one another, helping one another out, whether it's helping them put gear on in between innings.
You
like
just
they're
wait the whole time, huh?
What's that?
You just keep the gear on if you don't start in the first. You're just like, I'll just put it on for the second.
I keep it hot and ready. I've been normally like if it's cold, I'll have that thing by the heater
until May.
Until
May comes around.
But yeah, man, that's what it's all about. And at the end of the day, I think all three of us in this whole team, we want the Tigers to win. So it doesn't matter who's in there, who's not in there. Like you're pulling for the next guy. And that's what I think made the last year's team so special was the selflessness.
Right.
Because you had deep positions everywhere. Like you had guys in and out, interchangeable pieces. And
if you can buy into that, it's more fun to play that way. That's cool.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. How bad would it be if you're sitting there and let's say I'm playing this game, I'm not in these games, then I'm in this game, and in between all that, I'm miserable.
No, trust me.
By the time I'm in there, I'm miserable playing, and I'm not even.
Coach,
my mind's
everybody
not
will
even in the
feel
right
it too
place.
if you were.
Coach, listen to me. That's the difference between college and minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is a cancer to the whole team, right? You see that, and that just it matriculates through the dugout and the clubhouse, and that is not good. So the fact that you're saying that is unbelievable to hear, one. And two, it brings me to my next point because
Come to college instead of going pro.
well, that is obviously not
LSU.
Some people
Everybody.
should, but like I believe now with NIL that college is in the SEC specifically, this is AA talent you're facing day in and day out. So you're not going to develop. You're going to develop more in the SEC than you are going to develop in the lower levels of professional baseball. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I think I told my dad that the other day. We were talking about just talking about pro ball and college ball and what I know now versus if let's say I left like my sophomore year or junior year and took money and left or whatever. I was talking to him and I was like, man, after I know what I know now and the experience I've had and the relationships I've made being a part of LSU and this baseball team, I don't think I could put a price on it to change that.
And we talk about that all the time.
Like there's no set dollar amount that I could even come up with to change that.
Because no matter what
after you
happens,
sign a contract.
yeah, but no matter what happens, you can come back here and you've already made your name for yourself as far as being a good dude, being an LSU guy, winning a national championship, and like that's going to bring you opportunities that you couldn't even have fathomed 2 years ago, right? And so 100% agree with you. And what I like to see, right, because you don't really see this in the NIL era anymore, I like to see guys like Travinsky and guys like Sam Dutton, and that's the real guy I want to talk about, who stick it out, right, who have been here for a few years, have had their ups and downs, who hasn't been the star of the team, and then all of a sudden work, and it figures it out a little bit. And now you look at Dutton, and he's touching 96, 97 miles an hour, and he looks like he's going to be a real dude out the bullpen. You don't really get that anymore. But to see these guys do that and kind of stick through that and stick through the process and work, like to me, that's what makes LSU special. That's what made LSU special in the past. These guys wanted to be here, loved it here, loved the guys that are around it, and worked their ass off to try to become the best they could be and end up being the guy. Lewis Coleman was that guy.
Yeah.
Lewis Coleman got asked to leave LSU. He said no. He cried to Maneri and said, no, I want to be here. Ends up being an All-American, played 7 years in the big leagues. Like, Sam Dutton kind of gives me those same type of vibes. Oh, this guy's good. He can throw strikes. And now he's just figured something out, and it's taking him to the next level.
Yeah, I think that speaks to our program and where it's at, man. It's all about development, whether we're in game, bleeding up into game one after the first weekend or, in week 7, we're developing. And that's something we take pride on is, like, you're always getting better throughout the season. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're 1 through 40, we're developing everybody. Yep. Even if a guy might not be playing at the time, he's getting better. Coaches are coaching him just as hard as the next guy. And I think you saw it with Sam Dutton, man. Like, that guy's worked his tail off, and I love him to death because he's a lot like a Fidel, man. Never know if he's having a bad day or what. He's in there. He's happy every day. He's in a great mood, and he's working his butt off, but he's also making guys better around him.
Is there some things that he did this year that, like, helped him tick up? Now, obviously, you're not him, so, like,
yeah.
I could have to ask him.
He had, like, I've always seen it with Sam, man. His ability to locate, like, that's never changed. And then he worked his butt off after I know he worked his butt off after last season, and he got in the weight room and gained some weight, got stronger, and I think you're seeing that with the velo. But it's also his ability, like, me and Hayden were talking about it, and Tommy, we were sitting, I think, in my house or in the locker room talking about it, like, dude, you having a tough time, like, hitting off of him too? We're like, yeah.
I love that you think that's a conversation that you have all the time.
Yeah, like, you see what I'm seeing, and we're like, oh, yeah. You'll get in the box, and it's like, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
He's almost rushing you.
Right.
And then, like, as soon as you're stepping in the box, he'll come set, and it's like, just quick slide step. Like, he's a shorter guy, and it's coming from here, but also the fastball is just jumping out his hand.
Yeah.
And it's getting on you quick.
Yeah.
And I think he's also, I mean, he throws a hammer changeup. He's got the cutter. He's got the curveball. Now, you saw with a guy like Garrett Edwards adding a cutter to his arsenal, and that took off for him, got him paid.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm super proud of him and his development. He's definitely going to help the Tigers.
Ramsey.
Oh, there you go. Welcome back to the show.
You can take him off of mute now. He's in it
back
now.
to the
Yeah,
show.
here we go. Ramsey, in the time of NIL right now and Gordon's approach to this entire thing, you're getting more access to, like top-level athletes across the landscape of it all than a lot of people are, honestly, than the public are, than we are, than a lot of people are. Is there any common denominators you've seen with the people that have been able to come through you guys' doors and you've gotten to know and how they go about themselves and the things that they do? God damn,
What a
fresh
question right there.
fresh.
I'm not going to lie.
Hey, let's
fresh.
give a bravo right
Yeah, that was
I am
amazing.
fresh.
Wow.
One thing I can say that has stood out from the
If you hunt and fish, you got a shot.
hey, if you hunt and fish, Gordon may be interested. No, seriously. What he's talking about, and even just watching the fact that, so after the championship game last year, I'm sitting there thinking, I was talking to some people, all right, Alex and Hayden are juniors, right? Okay, so they can go to the draft or whatever. Well, whatever it may be, they could transfer. One of them's leaving.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Like, no question. The fact that they're staying, they got someone else coming play catcher and getting reps too, is crazy to me. Like, that is insane from what I have been fortunate enough to be so close to and see. I mean, what I have noticed is the more team-oriented the athlete is, the more successful you see them on the field. It always ends up being that way, you know, and we get to see them in the most personal setting, right, in a business setting. Actually, like,
Well, you get to see him at a spot where it's hard to fake.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, you can fake something on the field sometimes when nobody really knows what's going on behind the scenes, but, like, you're seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah,
When it comes down to dollars and cents, like, you actually find out who they are. It's like, no, I want this or whatever.
Oh,
And-
man.
Oh, I close the door behind you and there's no camera. All bets are off. I can ask you what I want. I can say what I want. So you really get to figure out who they are.
We're gonna have Gordon on here one day, and you can ask him about
We
some
can
of the
zoom him
crazy
in from
some of the
Colorado.
crazy requests that have been asked on these deals and stuff. And
Well,
it's
Coach, listen to me. The third-string running back at Maryland asked for $300,000. Or he was going to transfer, and the coach's like, oh,
Good luck
where
out
are you
there.
going to go? You're not getting $300K from someone else. You're the third-string running back at Maryland. It's not like you're the third-string running back at, like, Georgia or Alabama or LSU or Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's Maryland.
it's crazy.
$300K.
They run the
It's
shit
crazy.
out of
It's
it.
crazy. It's totally cheap.
Maryland Eye, where do you think it came from? You can start all three at one
They
time.
don't have that anymore.
It's wild, man. Hey, but that was a great question.
Great question.
Very, very good.
Well, man, I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate y'all coming on. We always appreciate the G team. We always appreciate you, Ramsey. I'm waiting for the invite to the In the Dirt.
We're
pod.
getting through some newcomers, man. We got probably like one or two
Well,
more
listen, I
episodes to
saw
get through, and then we're good.
You had the runner up of the Cy Young, so I get that. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, we did. Have
so
Gar-
like
did that
you had-
drop? That drop?
I saw, right?
You tell me. What do you mean?
I can't go back and watch our own podcast.
I don't either. It's hard to listen to yourself talking.
Yeah, you
Because
listen to
that
yourself talk, you're like,
I don't. I'm out on that. I don't.
Yeah,
really
it is hard. Listen, it took me a long time to damn, I gotta watch these clips that we post on socials, but you get used to it. But it dropped because I saw some highlights of it, so it definitely dropped.
good deal. I wonder what the people think about it.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh man, you haven't seen the comments?
That's why we got pushed
Yeah.
on the line, though. Obviously.
That was a cool interview, man.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, talking about some of the superstitions and stuff, and then talking about catching him in his backyard.
Kevin's a good conversation.
He's like,
man.
yeah, that was rough bullpen. I was like, dude, I didn't really move my glove a whole lot. It was just like,
You know how that came about. Before I let you go, the fact that you caught the bullpens. One, you were in town, and you needed someone to catch the bullpens. But we went and he went through a bullpen at a cage in Baton Rouge. Right, we knew the guy who owned it, so he would open it for us, so we would be able to hit, and he would go and throw. And there was a high school kid there that tried to catch him.
Oh no!
And I'm standing
That's
in.
rough.
I'm standing in, trying to track pitches, and Kevin's throwing. He knows a bullpen, so he's not throwing 100 miles an hour, but he's still trying to let it eat. And the first one, he threw it right at the guy's mask and right above it, and the guy just whiffed it. No, he couldn't catch it. He just wasn't ready for how hard it was coming.
Oh no!
And then the next one, he went and he pancaked it straight up in the air, and it almost came back down on his head. And I looked at Kevin, he looked at me, I was like,
You're gonna kill it.
That's when you start feeling bad. You're like, I don't want to hurt this
yeah, you
kid.
can't do that anymore. So he threw, I think he was throwing 85 the rest of the day, just easing it. And then he was like, I can't do that anymore. And then I think it was Will Harris was like, hey, Milazzo's in town. I think Will used to catch Will, right?
yeah, I was catching Will the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nolan or Coach Maneri reached out, and they were like, hey, Will Harris is done. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Just tell me
I mean,
when.
I need to work too. I was just right
And
down
Will's
the
a
road.
good one. He throws nothing but cutters
Oh, dude, it was so easy.
with a hammer breaking ball.
Yeah, it was so easy though. I could have got that dead bucket out there where it's got the crotch protector and just
take a seat back there.
Dude, it was the easiest stuff ever.
Yeah.
It did get a little taxing when all the there's a crap load of minor league guys in town, and they all found out about it. And I think one day, I ended up catching 9 guys.
Yeah.
In the heat of the summer
Yeah.
during COVID, and I'm like, oh frick.
Yeah.
And Will and Kev came and talked to me dude, we're so sorry about this. we didn't know. You don't have to catch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good.
We've all killed 5 high school
And then you had to
kids
give the straight face. Dude, it's okay. It's all
I
right.
mean,
No
that
big
was
deal.
such a wild time. It was crazy. It's crazy that you were part of that with us because we were long tossing on the golf courses. We were throwing we were warming up on that empty field right there, and then we were throwing bullpens in the back of Kevin's house.
yard.
It wasn't his new house either. It was his old house.
Yeah.
His new house is great. Lot more area in the backyard than the new house. The old
Square
house.
footage.
Old house, you miss. He throws a bad pitch. That ball's going into the lake. Yeah, so there's some balls back there, no doubt. But man, this was awesome. We appreciate y'all. We obviously appreciate Gordon and the G team, and I'm pumped that you're part of it, and can't wait to have y'all on again.
Yeah,
next
thank
week.
y'all.
Ramsey, next week we'll do it on Monday like we're scheduled to do it. No hunting, no fishing.
I'm a big Friday guy.
You are a big Friday guy.
Shows at what time on Friday?
At 1 o'clock.
Hey, nothing wrong with
I think a lot of the
Friday,
G
you know what I'm
team's a
saying?
big Friday guy too.
Yeah. Listen, we got some custom uniform. I can't wait to see you in it.
I think we got a different shirt for Mikey, actually, that we got to have him wear out.
I don't think so.
Oh,
think, yeah.
okay.
I don't
Hey,
think so. Might be this one.
is anybody going to the game tonight besides me?
Well, we got the show. I'm not going to the game. I'm going to watch it on TV. But that's a good game to go to.
Yeah.
You got courtside?
LSU, Kentucky,
LSU,
men's
Kentucky.
basketball.
Yeah.
Shout out
Are
our
you
boy
gonna sit on
Jordan
the
Wright,
court?
G team.
Sitting on the courtside?
No. Watson got those tickets, man.
What?
I know.
Wow.
Standing room only.
It's a shame, man.
Wow.
Sidney and I are up in the
You
middle.
got to make your way. You got to make your way up in the lawyer lineup.
You do.
It's okay.
It's
It's
yeah.
okay. You get one day.
what it
One
is.
day you'll get there.
Ricky got tenure.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, no, man. Gordon's out of town. I think Watson went and snuck him. They weren't there when I went.
So you're
You took a look. It just wasn't there anymore.
That's
Okay,
an
I got
issue.
it, I got it.
All right, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all. Enjoy the game. We're gonna take a 30-second break while they go, so we can tell them bye and we can snap a pic and let them bounce, and then we'll be right back. You're watching Mik'd Up. We appreciate you. We'll be back in 2 seconds.